Yes, I mean it. Rubik, that shiny amazing artifact that we can now get from the Inside Out event, is a Noob Trap. But GG, are you out of your mind? If we could get 6 Rubiks, they could make the most broken build in the entire game. Look at this, 116 bullet res, 17% vitality, 103% healing effectiveness and 20% movement speed, all in one build. 650 effective health with Albatross Heavy. SBA-10 can reach 720 HP and it even ends up with 10% movement speed. Antares is a menace in Labyrinth 2 and Chieftain with 760 HP and 5% extra movement speed. Absolutely insane. Alright, calm down. Obviously, everyone knows that nobody is going to get 6 Red Rubiks, but even one would be amazing to have. Every build can benefit from having a very strong artifact that doesn't even need to be countered for its negative effects. Rubik can roll 4 random statistics. Good news is that all of them are positive. Bad news is that there's plenty of useless statistics, most of them related to various infection types. We can roll resistance to temperature, reaction to it, or just a counter effect for it. Same for chemicals, and there's plenty of other options that will stop you from rolling your perfect Rubik. Forget about getting a maximum quality roll too. If you get at least 3 good statistics, you will probably never ever reroll your Rubik again, definitely not to improve the quality. There are some other statistics that could be nice to have, like lower recoil or reduced bleeding, but do you even have enough changing Serum saved up? If you are a veteran player, maybe you have enough to roll one decent Rubik, but if you are a beginner, the chances are you will have to buy them. We are looking at a price of around 300,000 per unit on the European server. Apparently that's not enough because the most recent patch also increased the price of researching Rubik from 2700 to a little over 10,000 rubles. There are examples of people who couldn't even get a vitality and bullet resistance combo on the Rubiks they got a year ago. Maybe they weren't trying hard enough, or maybe they just realized that it's not worth it. A year ago the grind for Rubik was pretty reasonable in terms of time investment. It was also a pure PvE event, so there was no dive squad stealing the fruits of our effort. The only downside is that the Inside Out from a year ago was a snooze fest. Event was so boring I took a break from the game. So how does it look this time around? We can either get a random Rubik drop, just farming an mission, or Centrifuge, or grab a guaranteed reward from the event NPC by trading him burnt onyx and abnormal substance. Forget about getting a good Rubik as a random drop. Drop rates are terrible. Most of us are not going to get lucky, and if you want a red rarity, you need to farm in a highly contested Forge-11. I would be surprised if you can get anything better than green, or maybe blue Rubik, even if you can consistently extract from Forge-11. So how much do we need to grind for the guaranteed rewards? For the white Rubik we only need 10,000 burnt onyx and 150 abnormal suspension. Let's just call it substance from now on, it will be easier. To get 10,000 burnt onyx, we need to successfully process 100,000 onyx in the centrifuge, as the conversion ratio is 10:1. We absolutely don't care about white Rubik as we can't really hunt for a good quality roll on our Rubik. It would be a pure madness to try to get it close to 100%. Double that amount for green Rubik, but I still don't think it's worth it. Blue requires 1000 substance and 60,000 burnt onyx. Personally, I wouldn't waste my changing serums on a blue Rubik. Pink goes up to 2500 substance and 150,000 burnt onyx, and you can start considering this as an option. But it's 1,500,000 onyx. This is starting to get ridiculous. Red Rubik, which is a pretty tasty reward, sadly costs a whopping 7,000 substance and 400,000 burnt onyx, meaning we need to successfully process 4 million onyx. One full centrifuge spin takes 2 minutes and can process 16,000 onyx into 1600 burnt onyx, meaning we need to do it 250 times. That number sounds annoying even without the idea of protecting the centrifuge from campers and farming full of that onyx. But how long does it take to get 4 million? If we focus purely on farming onyx, the best strategy is probably to farm onyx in the middle location, mines or inflow. It's the best trade between farming speed and safety, and then process it at home location, as there is not that many campers there. Obviously, drops from centrifuge are much worse, and we can't get inverter parts unless we spin centrifuges at Forge-11. An average pistol based on Makarov that for some weird reason doesn't even accept a PM drum mag. Yeah, inverter grind clearly rivals with Rubik, as you are supposed to buy a ton of chests for burnt onyx to get your blueprint parts. The grind is just as bad and the reward is even less interesting, so just give up. Unless you can bring a squad to protect you while you get your blueprints from Forge-11 centrifuge. Here, to get my 2 full spins in Forge-11, I had to defend myself from a shotgun wielding aggressor. He had absolutely nothing on him, you know, low risk, high reward kind of gameplay, and I got 2 inverter parts, some green and white artifacts, and 58 substance. You can also get some substance during emissions, so it's not the main bottleneck. Oh, and I had to kill another mercenary camping the forge exit. Okay, but I digressed. How much onyx you can get in an hour depends on many factors, like do you have a squad? Are you farming mines or forge? Which server are you playing on? Southeast Asia is less populated, they don't have that many aggressive campers, so both your extraction rate and farming speed will be better. We are looking at around 500 to 750 onyx per minute, including resupplying the ammunition and getting camped by vultures, putting us somewhere between 89 and 133 hours of farming to get to 4 million onyx. Event is ending in 2 weeks from the introduction of Rubik, with a vague mention from the developers that they are considering extending the event. Considering isn't a very helpful information if we try to decide whether it's worth grinding the event, or if we are just going to get burnt out together with our stockpile of onyx. This event is clearly not aimed at beginner players unless you just sell all of your hard-earned onyx to veteran players who want to get their hands on Red Rubik. Or if you supplement your grinding with packs of burnt onyx bought in the premium shop. As I mentioned, if you're a veteran, you can just buy onyx on the marketplace for a price of around 2 million rubles per 100,000 onyx, or 10,000 burnt onyx if you don't lose some of it to campers. In a perfect scenario, we are looking at 18 million rubles for a Red Rubik. Not a terrible price for a veteran player, but it's still a pretty huge investment. Don't forget to prepare serums to roll some godly stats on your Rubik. You don't want to settle for some crappy statistics after investing 80 million in your artifact. If you're a top player, this kind of investment is justified, but for everyone else, Rubik's a Noob Trap. And I wouldn't even touch this grind unless you plan to get at the very least a pink rarity. I just wish they would use this opportunity to create a truly unique way of obtaining this very unique artifact. If I was a game designer at Expo, I would completely rework the way of acquiring and upgrading Rubik. Obtaining a white rarity Rubik would be something extremely easy. That part doesn't even need to change, it is very easy, but you would be able to only get that one Rubik, and it would be limited to 1 per account. Honestly, I like the idea of a long grind for a guaranteed high rarity artifact, but don't limit it to the event period. Let's say you can only get the base arty during the event, but then you have some way of farming the currency to upgrade it to green, blue, all the way to the legendary. Maybe for that last upgrade you need to do something extra, like finishing a difficult and memorable questline, or a challenge. Spread it out and turn it into that late game content. Don't force people to either spend all of their money on the event or burn out from grinding 9 hours a day. And this is only a medium-sized event. We are still supposed to get that big seasonal event as a main dish. Honestly, I'm scared to even imagine what is waiting for us. Hopefully the money printing machine will be activated, because even before the Inside Out, the economy on EU was getting stagnant and people just didn't have enough money to buy items from the marketplace. But this is just my proposal. If you have a better idea for Rubik, feel free to share it with everyone in the comments. That's it from me. If you want to see more videos like this one, please consider subscribing and maybe even clicking that bell icon. Or you can just check my channel. No need to help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers. Bye bye.